Hi, it's Danny. It's been a long day. For anyone who saw my Instagram meltdown regarding the story debacle, still haven't fixed that, I don't think. I'm not sure what's going on with that, honestly. But I have decided, instead of writing out my reviews for these binge-worthy shows, I am now going to be just putting them on YouTube. And as you see behind me, it is a blank wall. I literally have a lamp for lighting and a cell phone over here with a flashlight. This is as ghetto fabulous as it comes. So, I've spent the last hour trying to figure out how to insert clips into the video and can't do it. I haven't figured it out yet. And the one I actually found that I thought might actually give me the answers was like 12 minutes long, and I'm like, okay, the assassination of Giovanni Versace comes on in 34 minutes, and I really want to see this season finale, and that's probably going to go on the list. So I want to see that. So hopefully this does not take that long. But anyway, we are doing True Detective. I am gonna do this one episode at a time. These are very concentrated episodes. It would be impossible. I would be here for the next 3 hours if I were to do the entire season in one setting. It just wouldn't. It wouldn't work. There's just too much going on. But just to give you a little background about the show itself, and that's going to be most of what we're talking about today. Um, it is an HBO original, 8 episodes, created by Nick. I'm not going to get this wrong. I'm going to butcher this. Nick Lotto, something like that. Like I said before, starring Woody Harrelson as Marty Hart, and Matthew McConaughey as Rust Cole, and Michelle Monaghan as Monaghan. I always get it confused, as Maggie Hart, Marty's wife. And these are the big names in the shows. These are the names you're going to recognize. And yeah, and you're going to recognize other names. And you're totally going to be like, I know that person. I just can't figure out where I know them from. But these are some pretty big names. And they're fantastic. All three of them are fantastic. Michelle's awesome. I love her. All 8 episodes were directed by Cary Fukunaga, which I think was a huge plus for the series. It's in essence an 8-hour movie. Same vision from the same mind. Episode 1 through 8, you know, it was all one thing. It was all one vision, all one idea. No one throwing in their little 2 cents. I mean, I'm sure there were people trying, but at the end of the day, it was Cary who had final say. And you could tell everyone responded really well to him, and everyone trusted him. And basically, when you see the behind the scenes footage and interviews with the actor, everyone was so comfortable with him, and they would literally jump off buildings for him. He was just that kind of director. And a very unassuming guy. Gosh, I feel like my bangs were just, I feel like they've grown since this morning when I did my Instagram story. I don't know what's happening. I guess I need to trim. Anywho, but yeah, it was really this was Carrie's baby. I mean, he knew what he wanted from the beginning to the end, and it was so evident in the details. Details you totally miss upon first viewing. This is not a show you can watch one time. You have to watch it 2 or 3 times, and just to get it, to get everything. You will never catch everything in the first viewing. You just won't. It was just, I'm thinking back at certain details that I didn't catch the first time. I didn't catch the second time, but the third time I'm like, oh my gosh, how did I not see this? How did I not catch this? It was just phenomenal. But back to the details you miss, and we'll talk more about this later in the series, about the hype and the hysteria that the fans built around the show, about these details, where they were building these fan theories. You know how fans can get about fan theories. They can get like totally off the walls. Like, wow, what drugs are you on? And can I have some? No, I'm serious. That was, I might have to edit that out. No, seriously, it's like they were going off the chain. But the thing was, some of them were true, and they were put in there. But these fans were going like frame by frame. They would literally stop. They would stop the DVR and find a picture on the wall with a man on a horse and say, okay, that man on the horse is correlated with this episode. It was crazy. It was just insane. But that's the kind of show and details that they would put into the show. It was just fantastic. I really don't know how to explain it other than that. But yeah, that it was just fantastic. And just to go back to what I said about Carrie and Fukunaga directing every episode, I think the biggest problem with the second season was the fact that there were 7 different directors. Okay, now keep in mind, there are 8 episodes. So you had one guy that did 2 episodes, and there was a different director for each other episode. I'm sorry, but as a recipe for disaster, that is way too many cooks in the kitchen. I mean, how do your actors, who were horribly miscast in my opinion, I mean, that's just me, but I mean, they were great actors in their own right, but they had no chemistry, in my opinion. And again, this is all my opinion. I could be totally wrong, and y'all might just roast me on this and think, what are you smoking? This was the best. Season 2 was fantastic. But to me, the pairings weren't great. Like Colin Farrell and Rachel McAdams. What? I mean, I never could get over that. But yeah, 7 different directors. How is a cast going to develop any kind of trust when you have a different director who's each has their own plan, own idea for their their take on the story. All the episodes were written by Nick, the writer, the creator. They were all written by Nick, but a director's going to come in and interpret it, his own way, his or her own way. And it was a hot mess. It really was. And I had such high hopes for it because I was so looking forward to it. But yeah, to its, you have to give it credit because someone is like really sorry. Someone is, I don't know if you can see it, but someone is messaging me, asking me. This is the third time this person has asked me, and I've told them no. I put something on sale on Facebook, and I told them no 3 times. No, is no longer available, but they keep asking. I don't understand this. And this was like 3 months ago that I put in the ad. Where were they then? Sorry, I went off a tangent. But you know, too, you have to understand. You know, this was coming off what is arguably the best detective series ever. And they had really big shoes to fill. I don't think there was anything that could top that. Now there's series coming along. Perhaps that will be a little bit easier because there's been a lull. There's been quite a lull. There was only a year, I think, between season 1 and season 2, because they were really wanting to capitalize on the hype. But there's been quite a bit of time. Let's see, 2015, we're in 2018, 3 years between the seasons, and I think they really wanted to slow it down. And I'm sorry, this is bugging me. That little icon of message. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think who's been that I know of who's been cast already. Stephen Dorff has been cast, which interesting. I'm interested in hearing the rest of that. I think the others have been cast. I just haven't heard about it. Okay, we're at 12 minutes, so I'm gonna try to rush. I don't want to rush through any of this, but I don't want to keep y'all forever. I don't know how many I'm gonna keep. So maybe I should have just made it kind of like the backstory of the show, but I'll go a little bit into the dynamic between Marty and Rust. The show begins present day, okay, and Marty is being interviewed by Internal Affairs, and I'm pretty sure he's retired now, because it's present day again. And then the same IA guys are, they bring Rust in, a totally different precinct, whatever, and for an interview, and he looks rough. I mean, he's got, the ponytail, gray hair. He's obviously an alcoholic. What do they call him? Not a stable alcoholic, but a functioning alcoholic. He has this line I love. He says, I'm gonna go get some beers. This is no the interview. I'm gonna get some beers. And they're like, what? He said, well, Thursday's my day off, and it's noon, and I start drinking at noon on my day off, so you're interrupting my drinking. Something that I'm paraphrasing, obviously. I don't know it by heart, but that's what he says, and he sends them out for beers and I think some hamburgers. But and that's the thing, it clearly he can tell, he can tell what's going on, he and the viewer can tell he is the one running this interview, which is, he knows is an interrogation, because of things that have happened in the past, that they're now opening these cans of worms. So then we jump to Louisiana in 1995, and that's the thing, this is told non-linear, which is why there's a lot of red herrings in this show that you gotta be kind of paying attention. You can't watch this show and be preoccupied with anything else. You really can't. You have to be paying attention to the show, or else you're gonna be lost in Easter egg. But yeah, so we jump to Louisiana in 1995, and they've kind of been thrust in together as unlikely partners. investigating the murder of a prostitute. And yeah, I know that sounds very pedestrian, but this prostitute has been posed